Hey everyone, for the last couple of months I've been working on a new TVPaint brush pack for my own projects, and I've decided to put them on my Gumroad for you to download if you'd like to try them out. There are 20 brushes, which are a mix of sketching, inking, painting, and then a few for textures, which I really love. The pack is set to pay what you want on my Gumroad, so it's totally optional if you want to donate anything. Any download of this pack is really appreciated, and if you do make anything animated or otherwise with these brushes, I would love to see them. So the first brush, called Soft Pencil, is my favourite sketching brush. I use it for all of my rough animation, and if you turn up the size of the brush as well, it works great for thumbnails and planning out your ideas so you don't get too stuck in the details. Next we have the Fuzzy Pencil brush, and I find this really good for laying down rough shadows and doodling. It's got a really nice feel to it, and the pressure works nicely if you want a darker line as well. The Fine Line brush has a little bit of texture to it, which you can see easier if you're zoomed in close. If you pull back from the canvas, it looks much more solid and is great for details. Next up we have the Small Inker, which is quite sensitive, and you can get some really nice fine lines along with more sweeping brush strokes. I love drawing with charcoal, and I always wanted to make a brush like that in TVPaint, which is where these next three brushes come in. Soft charcoal is great because it's very buildable, and blend charcoal is the same brush except you can blend it like this, which also makes it quite nice for painting. The hard charcoal brush is meant to mimic the marks made when you lay a piece on its side and scrape it across the paper. Make it smaller and it's good for sketching, make it larger and it also works as a good texture brush. Next is the Watery Ink Brush. It's one of my favourites and the pressure is really nice on this one. The Blend Oil Pastel brush I find really nice for painting, and the good thing about the blending brushes is that if you use another brush to lay down flat colours or texture, you can come in with this one and paint on top. The Bristle brush reacts to the direction you move your pen, and if you try circles it looks a little like cross-hatching. Obviously if you want larger marks you can always increase the size of the brush to cover more area. Next up are the texture brushes. The Grainy brush is one of my absolute favourites. Very buildable and so fun to play around with. When you use the brush in a spiral or circle movement, you get something like this, which reminds me of a portal or dark tunnel. Perfect for spooky animations or if you just want to add a little bit of tension. Soft Pastel is really great for clouds or mist or adding in softer touches to the backgrounds. For the large patterned brush, I've used this to cover the background and mess about with the blending modes for the layer, but it could also serve as a texture for paper as well. Next is the Splatter Brush and the large watercolour brush, which I've used a lot already. The Hard Ed brush is directional, so it will swivel as you move your pen on your tablet. So far I've used it as a foliage brush and a general painting one to block out shapes. After that we have the Bubble brush, named because it looks like I dipped bubble wrap into ink and laid it down on paper. It makes a really nice organic pattern when you dot the brush about the canvas. The Soft Bubble brush is a variation of this. It's much more buildable while still keeping some of that organic looking pattern. The Distressed Edges brush was a happy accident and I like this one a lot. For example, you could use the stencil function on a text layer and then use a new layer to make it look as though ink is bleeding across the text to reveal itself. This last brush is called Soft Shadow and is one of my absolute favourites. It has a sort of dreamlike quality to it and reminds me of point of view shots where the character is waking up and the vision is a little blurry. And that is it for my new TVPaint brush pack. Let me know down in the comments which brush is your favourite. If you make anything with these, you can tag me in them on Instagram and Twitter at KDSKETCH. Thank you to everyone who has supported me so far. It honestly means the world. And I'll be back with more animations and tutorials real soon. Bye!